Cool. So I'm going to get started, and then as people join in, they can hop into the conversation. First of all, I just want to say I hope everyone is safe and well in this incredible time of uncertainty. If I can say anything, the past year of my personal journey and change and embracing everything up until this point, I have really learned to release what I cannot control, and to take care of myself and then try to help everyone around me. So I just want to say to everyone, please take care of yourself. I hope everyone is safe during this difficult time. I think as artists and entrepreneurs and business owners, it really affects everyone across the board. So I want to say, please take care of yourself. I'm personally feeling very strong and hopeful about the future. So if you need help, shoot me a DM. I have plenty of time on my hands. So please send me a message if you need a laugh, a hi durin, or anything, and I will be happy to do anything in my power to help you. Since this is why we're here today. So I wanted to teach you or give you some words of wisdom on how I create. I get tons of emails asking for coffee dates, on how do you start and all that kind of stuff. So I thought this live masterclass and Q&A could kind of be a small way for me to give back to everyone. So anyways, I'm going to go through my notes and I'm going to go through all the questions I received. I have not read the questions yet because I didn't want to plan any of my answers. So I'm going to be reading those questions in real time. If you have any questions that pop up after the masterclass, or if there's anything that I didn't give you enough information on, shoot me a DM, slide it into my DM, and maybe I'll do some more of these and go into more detail. Also, Jared, our director of marketing, is on the BCE end. I'm not going to be able to comment live because I want to be focused on all the stuff y'all have sent me. So if anything pops up, Jared will hop in on the BCE end and try to answer your question. And he just waved. Okay, cool. So I thought I would start out by talking about briefly my story, how I came to be a site-specific theater producer. It was not something I dreamed about as a kid. I did dream about being an actor. So from a very early age in Alabama, I always wanted to be an actor. My granny, who played the piano in church, I say I got my first tour on the revival circuit in Alabama. I began performing in church and fell in love with it very quickly. I then left Alabama as quick as I could to get up to the Northeast for undergrad. I went to Amherst to get my degree in theater. Then I went to New York and did the whole actor thing for 4 years. And I learned after those 4 years very quickly that I missed community, I missed my family, and I was just not cut out to be a New Yorker. I was a Southern boy through and through. So although I ran like heck to get out of the South, I felt at that point my roots pulling me back. So that's kind of the start of my journey back to the Southeast and really getting in touch with communities. So at that point, when I was getting so over the New York scene, I saw an audition for Tokyo Disney. They were looking for a 6'2" country singer named Diamond Jim for an immediate replacement in their Diamond Horseshoe Revue in Tokyo Disney. So lo and behold, I went in for that audition. They measured me, and I went to Tokyo immediately for a year. And I shipped everything from New York back home. And that was kind of like I'm done with New York moment. And I went to Tokyo for a year. And that was when I decided I wanted to do something besides go back to New York, and that was grad school for me. So after Tokyo, I went to get my MFA in acting at University of South Carolina, and that really led me back to the Southeast because I wanted to be near my family. My sister and her partner were starting to have children. My grandmother was getting older, and I just wanted to be near my family, and it was kind of the best of both worlds. So I moved back to the Southeast to start grad school, and the summer before that, my sister said, there's this new little community that's popped up outside of Atlanta. It's called Serenbe. You've got to come check it out. You will love it. So the infamous story, we went to Serenbe. I didn't know a soul there, but I immediately felt very connected to the community. It was like this little modern day Mayberry, and I got this gut feeling. So I will talk a lot about gut feelings and following those. And I sent an email to info@serenbe.com, not knowing a soul. I introduced myself and said, hey, I'm this Southern guy who's been in New York and just now Japan, and I'm coming back to the Southeast for grad school, and I would love to start a theater in your community. And lo and behold, they emailed me back, and they asked to meet with me, and I met with them, and the first thing they said is, there is no structure in here that will house a theater. What is your solution to that? And just in that moment, I said, let's try it outside and see if it works. And that kind of blunt statement has led me to where we are now 11 years later, with this being the thing that I do. I never planned it. There was an opportunity. I said, let's try it outside. And it kind of stuck with people. And they asked me to put together a business proposal. And I was like, sure. And meanwhile, I had zero idea how to do that. But I was a good actor, so I just lied and batted my eyelashes. And then went to Amazon, when Amazon was still a place where you just order books, folks. And ordered every book I could find on how to start a nonprofit theater company. I put together a proposal. They approved it. And then we started our first summer when I was in grad school. And I used those first formative years while I was in grad school to do my summers in Serenbe, and then I would go back to South Carolina to do grad studies. And then after I graduated undergrad, that was when Serenbe really started gaining its momentum. And then in season 4, we produced a production of Hair, the original one. And that was when the lid just kind of blew off. And we saw hundreds and hundreds of people lining up. And it was clear then that this whole outdoor site-specific immersive thing that I hadn't really planned had a life outside of itself. So that led to my 10 years in Serenbe as the founder and artistic and executive director. And that led me to now doing BCE full time. So I'll kind of answer some questions here and there about the differences in those, but that's where we are now. Oh, one thing I'm going to talk about. I want to talk, a lot of people ask about what is the difference in nonprofit theater and for-profit theater. I have done both. I spent 10 years doing Serenbe, and now I'm really full-time into BCE. At a nonprofit theater, you answer to a board of directors, and a large portion of your income comes from unearned revenue. So that would be things like grants, corporate sponsorships, donors. In the for-profit world, it is 100% earned revenue, which is typically ticket sales. Having done both, I prefer the for-profit world. I like to be my own boss. I do not like answering to people, and I hate fundraising. I know that both have their role in the arts world, but having done both, I will tell you I am so much happier 100% being in control of my career and not having to raise money. I've done it, and I think it's a great thing because some type of arts do need to raise money, but I did it for 10 years, and I'm happy to be on the commercial end now. And I forgot one little caveat about how BCE came to be. Midway through my Serenbe term, probably about season 5 or 6, I had a venue reach out to me that said, hey, we've heard about this thing you're doing in a community outside of Atlanta. Would you ever come to our community and do it too? And that was Old Sturbridge Village. They were my first client outside of Serenbe that got this whole thing started. And from that initial visit, that's what kind of blew us up to be in so many different states. And for the longest time, I tried to balance Serenbe and BCE, but this past year became very apparent that it was just impossible to do both. And I was personally finding so much more joy in the projects I was doing in other communities because I saw the potential of taking this model on a larger scale that I had developed in Serenbe, and very thankful for my time in Serenbe and to that community for everything they gave to me. But I saw the potential of being able to do it everywhere, and it was so thrilling, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm following my joy. So I think it's important as an artist or a business person to really define your mission. So my mission is bringing high quality theatrical experiences to new audiences and communities that do not have direct access to it. So a lot of people will always say, hey, when are you going to be in New York City? When are you going to be in LA? I was like, well, I'm probably not. Because for me, that is not my end-all, be-all goal. Being from a tiny town in Hokes Bluff, Alabama, I always was so hungry and craved having opportunities. So for me to be able to go into these communities in very small, typically remote places and create these awesome experiences hand in hand with their community, that's what really fuels me, and that's what is really defining my mission with BCE and also my mission kind of as a human. For me, it's really hard to distinguish my work from what I do because it's also my passion. It is a BCE hat. I'll get you one, Tucker. So I think it's very important to define your mission. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And follow your joy. And I've got in capital letters in my notes right here, joy. I think the most precious thing we have in this life is time. And I sure as heck want to be joyful with every minute I have on this earth. So I encourage you to find what makes you joyful and seek it. Okay, how do I create? So there are a few main ingredients. We have environment, we have material, and we have people. Those are the three main ingredients. I have to, one, be super excited about the environment or location I'm in. I, two, have to be so jazzed about the actual material, which would be the play or the musical. And I have to love the people I'm working with. All three of those have to be in sync and really integrate, or it's a train wreck. And there might be times where like the environment is so incredible and the material's like okay, or the people are like, but you love the show. So I think it's kind of like a balancing act, right? But those are the three main ingredients that go to creating a very successful site-specific immersive production. I want to talk about how I am as a director. People typically love me or they don't. People do not have mediocre feelings about me typically. Some people love me and they want to do all my skits, and some people cannot stand me and they want to tear me apart on social media. So I guess I'm like Taylor Swift a little bit, you either love her or you hate her. But that's really the way I am with people too. I have really strong opinions about people. I am very loyal to people. And as a director, I come in with a crystal clear vision. And typically things I do are going to be reinvented. They're not going to be your typical norm. And then I'm going to ask my directors and all of my designers to make really bold choices. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to create a blocking map for you because that is a bad director. Sorry, if you got one that does that for you, come on over to my place. So that's really the world I create. I do a lot of imaginary prep work, but I'm also not the type of director that's I've had 3 coffees, P.S. I'm also not the type of director that's gonna come in with a ton of prep work and a ton of history behind the show. I'm going to have an incredible assistant director with me who's going to do a lot of that work. But for me, my magic happens in the room with the people in that room. So for me, casting is very important. For me, having the right designers is very important because they're going to inspire my process and they're going to help me create this experience together. I'm not going to come in with all of this prepped and telling you what to do. Where are we at? I need a little sip. Let me get a little sip of water. Ooh. Okay, cool. How how do I manage it all? A lot of people will ask me that. So I like to work, and I love what I do. So I work a lot. But I also made a lot of lifestyle changes, sorry, one less coffee next time, especially in the past 3 years. So some things I did, and it wasn't like I woke up one day and I was like, I want to make all of these changes. They kind of happened spread out. So one thing I did was I quit drinking 3 years ago. And it wasn't like I had this horrific thing happen to me and I had to stop. For me, I wanted to try stopping and see what kind of difference it made in my life. And I said, I'm going to take a month off from drinking because I wasn't just like a one sip kind of person. I was like a 1 or 2 bottles of wine kind of person. I mean, best good time Sally ever, but if there's one thing I'm not, it's moderate. So, for me, I was like, I'm going to take a break from drinking. And I blinked my eyes, and in a month, I looked back, and I felt present. I felt in control, and I felt like I had opened up all of these extra hours in my day that before had not been there. So now I've blinked, and it's been 3 years later, and I look at what I've accomplished in the past 3 years, and I, without a shadow of a doubt, know I could not have accomplished that had I been drinking a lot. So for me, it's a personal choice. If you are someone who's struggling with that, I say take a break for a month and see if you notice any differences. But for me, it was a huge game changer. Also, I'm extremely precious and protective about my personal time. You ask anybody that knows me, I love being alone. I love hanging out by myself. I would rather have every tooth in my mouth pulled than get on a phone call. Text me, email me, or let's meet in person. So I am like, if I'm going to disconnect, I am disconnecting and I'm taking care of me, whether that's meditating. Also, I've gone on a fitness journey this past year, going to the gym. And, it's a home gym now, but going to the gym, working out, meditating, all of those things are really important to me because I need those to fuel myself, to give to people. Because as a producer and a director, you have to be 100% present and you have to give a ton of your energy and time to those in the room with you, or you're not being a fully present, awesome director and producer. And that's what I'm trying to do. I want to be present for my artists, and I want to be here for them and be mentally, physically, emotionally, and all of that just present so we can create some really awesome art. I've also really streamlined my life. A lot of you know that I bought my dream house 2 years ago. I redid this gorgeous Victorian home that I thought I was going to live in forever, and spent a full year doing it. And then after it was done, I realized as I was starting this new chapter and leaving Serenbe and going into BCE full time, that house was just something that stressed me out. So I sold the damn house, y'all. It's just a thing. But I will tell you, I sold everything I own in that house except for the clothes that would fit in my car. One car, a hanging rack of clothes, and I only wear black, white, and gray. It's just a way to streamline because at this moment in my life, I want to put all of my energy into taking care of myself, taking care of my family and my loved ones, and really creating a business and an empire that will sustain my life and my tribe, as I call them, forever. But this is the growth period. So guess what? We don't get to have a Victorian house right now. Okay, so now I want to talk about who inspires me. I think it's very important for you to have your people that inspire you. First and foremost, for me, it is my family. And it's hard for me to talk about my family without getting emotional because I feel so incredibly lucky to have the family that I do. And for you all that do not have a family support system, it really breaks my heart. And I truly, truly am so blessed and so grateful to have the family that I do. Especially in this time dang it. In this time of such uncertainty, it is so hard for me to really be upset because I feel personally so blessed. Whew. So first and foremost, my family really inspires me. I was raised by my granny and my mother and my sister. And, I didn't have the typical family life. I wasn't raised by a mom and a dad, and the mom stayed home. It was nothing like that. I was raised in a dang trailer on a plot of land in Alabama, but I was surrounded by so much incredible love, and I would not trade anything for it. So my mom was a full-time working mom, and she really taught me work ethic and how to be freaking scrappy. And my granny helped raise us as well. And she was just the most loving, saint-filled, wonderful angel ever. She had such strong faith, and she just loved her children and her grandbabies more than anything in the world. And then my sister, my twin, she's my best friend in the entire world. And I think, how fortunate am I to have my sister who is my soulmate? I mean, we don't do it or anything, even though we're from Alabama, but she is my soulmate. And I'm so lucky that I do get to create with my sister as well. I mean, we create incredible artwork together, and I can't wait for y'all to see the latest artwork we've created this year for our BCE shows. So outside of my incredible family, some other people who inspire me, and they're all women, surprisingly enough. I'm really attracted to strong, powerful women. And when I say attracted, I mean like I want to hang out and go shopping with them. You know what I mean? So someone I love Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. I just think she's so smart. She's just this like incredible woman who was selling fax machines, and now she's running a dang multi-billion-dollar company from something she believed in, which for her was getting rid of that panty line. I also love Anna Wintour. I mean, is there anyone more fabulous? And I think that I also like to compare myself not only to Taylor Swift, but to Anna Wintour on occasion, because I think she's often really misunderstood. She is very blunt with her feedback, and that can be misunderstood as her being, a little bit of a bitch. But I am very direct with my feedback just because I don't think there's time to sugarcoat things. So if you've worked with me, I'm really blunt, but that can be really sweet and hug your neck too, and sometimes that confuses people. But it is what it is. Also, I'm obsessed with Dolly Parton. Not just as a singer-songwriter, but as an entrepreneur and businesswoman. I think that she gives so much to her philanthropy end, with her literacy program, and she gives so much back to her own community. And that's something I'm passionate about as well. And I'm going to be starting a new program this year to give directly back to Hokes Bluff High School, which is where I was raised. So stay tuned for details about that. I'm sorry I'm talking so much, y'all. There's just so much to say. Also, I want to, before I get to questions, kind of breeze through some of this. I think it's really important as an artist or a business person or just a dang human to be continually educating yourself. And it doesn't have to be boring. You don't have to be in a textbook. But some things that I've found really exciting that I educate myself with. Some tools. I love MASTERCLASS. If you don't have a MASTERCLASS subscription, get one. It is like the best money you will invest. There is basically, you can learn how to do everything. So I love MASTERCLASSes. I love Shark Tank. I mean, y'all, if you can survive that row of sharks, you can survive anything. I've learned so much about how to talk about numbers and profit and loss, I can't even say it, profit and loss statements through Shark Tank. I mean, y'all, and that's a free show. Just turn your dang TV on. I also love Marcus Lemonis, his show, The Profit. He's got his 3 Ps. It's product, people, and process. Those are very important as well, and I kind of integrate those into business stuff as well. And then I love Tabitha's Salon Takeover. Can we please freaking bring that back. And I know she did just Tabitha's takeover. I was happy with that too, but I mean, gosh, Tabitha Coffee is my queen. I want to talk about things I value. I think these are also important, that you have your little list outside of your mission statement. What do you value? I value honesty. Now, when I say honesty, I mean like the big stuff. Like if I ask you if I look cute today and you don't think I look cute, just say I look cute and let's keep going on. You know what I mean? But like the big things, like don't lie to me and cover it up. Say, hey, I made a mistake, and we'll just get going and get our Starbucks drive-through now, and we'll keep going. So honesty is very important to me. Hard work is very important to me. If you come across as lazy or just lackadaisical, I will not work with you well. I'm just saying that now. And if you want an example of hard work, you need to talk to Miss Julie. Julie is my casting director, and she is also my leading lady in everything. That girl will get on a horse, she'll play a trumpet, she will roll around in the mud, she will do anything to get ahead. And also she's just so joyful. So if y'all got a question about how to work hard, you go talk to Miss Julie with the red hair. I also love scrappiness. As someone who came from nothing financially, crawled out of a trailer, which I loved, in Alabama, I really am attracted to people who are scrappy. So people who are precious about getting their hands dirty, we're not going to be a fit. And then the final thing that I really value is loyalty. I am extremely loyal to my people, and I expect it 100% in return. I just can't talk enough about that. I mean, me and my sister are definitely like part of the Southern Mafia, so loyalty is important, especially now that I got this mustache. I mean, you want people around you who have your back, you know what I mean? So that leads me to talking about the team. I can't do it alone. Nobody can do it alone. If you really want to scale what you are doing, you've got to have the right people around you. So you've got to create your team. And as Sarah Blakely says, you hire slowly and you fire quickly. So build your team slowly. Find the people around you that complement what you do, and also do the stuff that you can't do well or that take too much of your time. So I want to talk really quickly about my BCE team and who we have in place right now. And then as we grow, we add those members in. I do think that anything, for the most part, is trainable, but you hire for character. You hire for the people that you trust. You hire for the people that love your brand. And you hire the people that have passion. So that's what I look for. Scrappiness, passion, and someone I can see as a long-term fit. So I have a director of operations, HB. That was the first person I hired full-time at BCE because I hate operations. Like, I can do it in a pinch, but like I hate it. I literally hate it, and it makes me like crazy. So like accounting, legal, payroll, all that stuff, it's just not what I was put on this earth to do. But I'm here, but I have a good enough brain to know that I needed someone to do that for me so that I could be opened up to do sales. I'm great with sales. I'm great with creating art. So like I want to focus on the things that I'm really good at. Also, I have an incredible director of marketing. Jared is on the BCE end right now. He and I have worked together for years at Serenbe. And when I transferred over full-time to BCE, I said, I just can't do it without you. So I'm so excited to have Jared on our team as well. I have my awesome casting director that I've already talked about, Julie, who's on here. And me and her are actually doing casting right now online because we were supposed to be in New England this past week, but we're doing casting online, and we just have the best time together. But she'd never done it before. But I said, hey, do you want to help me? And she helped me, and she was great, and here we are. I also have a great production manager, Bobby Johnston. He and I have worked together for ages and ages, and I just never have to worry about things happening on the production end. I will ask for these like insane things, and then lo and behold, they're there. So get you a production man who you can trust and is going to go with you for the crazy dreams. Also, I have a great associate producer, Cullen, and he is integral to my magic creation, etc. as well. He and I have a shorthand now, so he's with me. He can anticipate my needs. And then on top of that little tight team, God, I hope I didn't forget anybody. We have like tons of awesome contractors that come in for each show. So designers, actors, et cetera, et cetera. But that's kind of the core of the team right now. And we're looking to build more and more. What else? Oh, so if you want to become a part of the BCE team, shoot me a message. We're always looking for scrappy, passionate people. So let me know. Okay, I'm going to talk really quickly about brand because that is very important. Then I'm going to God, I'm sorry I'm taking so long, y'all. Then I'm going to hop on over to our questions. Outside of your mission, outside of your values, it's really important that you have a very strong brand. What sets you apart? BCE, we're young, we're sexy. We reinvent classics. We're very bold. We create experiences that connect to your heart and your gut. We use tons of saturated colors. We have very strong marketing. That's something I feel very confident about. And there's an incredible team that makes that happen. Jared is taking point on all of that. My sister creates the most incredible poster art in the damn world. I mean, honestly. And I'm so excited that she's my sister. So I pulled her out of retirement to do the BCE artwork this year and just get ready. It's going to be killer. Also, Curtis Scott Brown in New York, he has started taking incredible production photos. He's a Broadway photographer. Brienne does not travel. She will not get on a plane because she has literally 60-something animals now she's preparing for. Well, God, I mean, Lord, if we need an ark these days, she's got it ready, 2x2. Logan Daddy, he does our awesome video work. And then our other Jared from Chillicothe, he does graphic design with us as well. So there is a huge marketing team for us to still be kind of like a small, scrappy company. I cannot tell you enough, please invest in marketing. If you're an actor, don't have busted headshots. Y'all, literally, why would you have busted headshots? How am I supposed to take you seriously if you want to act professionally? So whatever you're doing, whatever your business is, being an actor is a business. Take it seriously. Have a great logo. Have a great website. Have a great headshot. I mean, it seems like you don't care if you don't. So that is, and the experience begins with your marketing. It begins with the first post you do on social media. It begins with your headshot and resume. So I can't really stress that enough. Okay, cool. So now it's time to jump to some questions. I'm going to answer these I've got them on computer. Okay, cool. So how y'all doing? Y'all sticking with me out there? So I'm getting a little sip of water. Oh, gosh, we almost got 100 people on here. How you doing? Okay, cool. So my girl, Kaylee, she says, what are some ways that one can secure funding for site-specific productions? I think that site-specific productions are the same as anything. You know, how do you secure funding? I think if you're going to go the nonprofit way, you're going to have to start begging people for money. I did it for years. I will never do it again. So if you're someone who doesn't mind begging people for money, you can start inspiring people with your story. You know, it's like a romance novel. You create this really awesome story of like, hey, you know, I'm from Alabama. All this is true. I want to get back to the Southeast and create theater that connects art, nature, and community. Those are all true things. But if you want to do it on the commercial end, you need to create something that people are going to buy tickets to. So those are things that people know. And if they don't know them, you've got to have your hook. So I'm always thinking of what is the hook? You know what I mean? What is the hook that will get the masses to purchase tickets? So that's my thing. And find a cool community. You know what I mean? I will tell you that most of my venues, excuse me, are at least like an hour away from a major city. So it's always great to produce in a smaller community that's maybe like an hour away from like a larger community, so you can try to pull from those people. Okay, my girl Lindsay, who's fabulous at hair and makeup, her question is, do you scout every location or do some locations scout you? I'm pretty fortunate that all of my current venues reached out to me first. So I am starting to do a little bit of scouting now that I have more time 100% at BCE. But up until this past year, every single location has landed in my lap from an email that said, hey, we've heard about this thing you're doing. And I tell you, I will get in a plane and go anywhere and shake a hand and get a site visit. But every single location that has landed in my lap this past 3 or 4 years has been from a word of mouth, has been from them seeing the marketing, seeing the YouTube videos. So yeah, and I'm very fortunate. But as we're starting to scale this thing and starting to get to be a little bit more picky about the venues we're in, I'm starting to target a few locations as well. So it's kind of a mix, but the majority has really landed in our lap. Abigail. Oh, this is Abigail. She's gonna be Martha in Heather's this summer. She says, did you know you always wanted to be a director? I didn't always want to be a director. I wanted to be an actor from a really early age, and directing was something I fell into when I discovered Serenbe and went back to grad school. I knew that I wanted to be in the industry, but I wanted to be in control of my career. That was very important to me. I did not want to be beholden to casting directors, and I didn't want to be sitting around waiting on my next opportunity. I wanted to be creating those. So yeah, and now here I am 11 to 12 years later, known as a director and producer, but I can still turn it out when I need to. Might be performing in a few years, you know what I mean? Got to show these muscles off at some point. I do love performing though. Okay, now let's see. This is from Steven. We attended the Sound of Music at Wintergreen last fall. It was one of the most memorable experiences in live performance that I've had. And this from a regular patron of Broadway and London Live Theatre. Well, I look forward to more experiences like the Sound of Music in hopefully the near future. Oh, that wasn't a question, but I sure did love that comment. Thank you. This is a comment, too, from my buddy James. I hope this is over soon so we can all get back to what makes us happy, and you make me happy. James, you make me happy, too. This is from Jacqueline, another comment, but hey, I'll take it. Please come back to Wintergreen. I would love to see Sound of Music every year. Well, we are coming back to Wintergreen. We're doing Oklahoma soon. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Oklahoma. I didn't warm up. I have to refill my water jug soon. Okay, a question from Harper. She was one of the Von Trapp kids, and she is a sweetie from Virginia. Have you considered producing an original musical? I get this question a lot too. We do produce original work. So examples of those would be the Sleepy Hollow experience, the Edgar Allan Poe experience, A Christmas Carol experience. Those are all original works. But guess what? They are very famous titles. So I'm trying to attract an audience that does not go to theater. I'm trying to attract a new audience of theater goers. And you do them by tricking them into not thinking it's theater. So new work, honestly, is hard to sell to these smaller communities that I'm passionate about producing in. So I love new work. But I would say if BCE is going to produce a new work, it is going to be a reinvented classic or something that a lot of people really know. You know what I mean? But I love going to see new work. What country would you love to produce a musical in? Gosh, that's hard. I want to do something in all of them. I love Asia. I mean, having lived in Japan for a year, I would love to do something in Japan. So I think that's where I would maybe go first. These are all from Harper. She's a smart girl. Is there a special place you have visited that you would love to produce a show? Great question. So I'm currently sitting in Panama City Beach, my favorite place in the world. I'm looking at the beach right now, as all of you know is closed. And I would love to produce a show here. I grew up as a kid coming here. My whole family has grown up coming here. So I would love to produce something in PCB, Panama City Beach. So who knows? We'll see. And then Kristen Harper's mom asked, can you talk more about how you choose the show based on the location and what have been some of the biggest challenges? Love, peace, and hope. Love y'all. That's a long question. I'll answer it briefly, but that could even be a spin-off masterclass. So typically I will either choose the material or the location first. I'll do 2 examples. So at Wintergreen, they approached me and said, we want to do a musical during our off season at the ski resort. We've got these incredible sites. They took me on a tour, and I went to this one space where The Sound of Music ended up being, and I just got there and I said, where the heck is Maria? Twirling around, singing The Hills Are Alive. So in that moment, the space spoke to me. Then I'll use another example, which is coming up this summer, Heathers. I have been dying to do a site-specific version of Heathers in an actual school. So I'd been working on a partnership for a couple of years with Columbus Children's Theater, and the stars kind of aligned, and they became my home to help us find a school in Columbus. So they really work in both ways. Let's see. Sorry, I'm scanning. Okay, Drama Mama, how you doing? How do you time manage your productions? It's gotten down to a science now. So typically our rehearsal processes. Another simple one. I hope this is entertaining. They're typically a 2.5-week rehearsal, sometimes a 1.5-week rehearsal. I like to go fast and furious. Again, that goes back to having an incredibly competent and well-prepared team. And in a musical, we'll be doing, some people are texting, sorry. Some people are doing, sorry, I got distracted for a second. I'm like a cat. So I'll have the choreographer, the music director, and the director, me typically, all working at the same time. So although we're doing a 1.5-week rehearsal process, we basically tripling it because we would be using multiple rooms and sharing those, if that makes sense. Where do you find your fabulous casts and crews? This is still Drama Mama. Whenever you travel. So this is something I'm really passionate about. I love connecting with local community members. So we always go and cast locally. We will always go into a community and hold a local audition, and sometimes the most incredible talent comes out of these communities. Sometimes people are community players there. Sometimes they're New York people who've moved home. So we will always do local casting and always find the most incredible talent. But typically we'll bring in a handful of national people as well that I've worked with and kind of do a well, I guess I didn't need that pen. We'll do a nice mix of local and national talent. And then, I have my people like Bobby, my production manager. He pretty much goes everywhere with me. Colin goes everywhere with me. So it's always that nice mix of local and national. Also from Drama Mama, what shows do you think people enjoy seeing the most? I mean, that is we could have another masterclass on that. I think it really varies per region. I think shows that people have some kind of awareness of, like A Sound of Music or like a Sleepy Hollow, things that people know what they are. I think it's fun to come into an experience knowing at least a general storyline or a general vibe, and then turning it upside down. So anything that you're going to see on a BCE end that our team has put together is going to be completely different and reinvented. So yeah, but I do think people need a little bit of a hook, especially in these areas that we're passionate about producing in, that are not what you would call quote unquote theater towns. Let's see, it's going down. Brooke, I'm a girl, Brooke. What have you found the best, most profitable ways to finance an experience? Tickets, clean, hard cash. Sell them tickets, put on a show. It is the cleanest transaction ever. You don't owe anybody anything except a really incredible show. So I'm really big on trying to keep your cost down as low as possible, especially on a first-time venture. And the great thing about like a Sleepy Hollow or a Christmas Carol or an Edgar Allan Poe experience, those are smaller cast. And with truly environmental theater, you're not having to build tons of huge sets. You're really using what is around you. So yeah, I mean, ticket sales, that's how you do it. Wonderful Wolf, that's cute. I love environmental theater and love directing in the space. Do you see a space and find a play or find the material and then search for the location? So I answered that already. You were right in line with somebody else. Also, how do you decide on a location? Clearly not every scene of the show will be in one stock location. So how do you know when the place is perfect, and how do you communicate that to your cast, etc.? I'm pretty quick on those decisions. So I do think that one of my secret sauce things is I have an innate ability to kind of assess how a space is going to work. And I can go in and just see things immediately of that needs to go there, that needs to live there. And then of course you've always got to be a little bit flexible, but I go in and I see it. I'm a visual, imagination-based person. It's how I create. So I go in and I see it all there. And then, of course, I'm always open to conversation or actors having ideas within reason. Let's be real. Just take a note sometimes, And then, of course, my design team will have great ideas and we'll collaborate and, figure it out, and it'll be fun. Let's see. MTT, sorry, some of these are hard to read name-wise, but MTT Spencer, what is your process for starting conversations with communities, organizations to develop a show for them? Is it a cold call from you? So answered that already, but typically 9 times out of 10, they are emailing me and saying that they want to capitalize on this really cool place they've got. They've got a really cool historic site, or they've got this gorgeous field, and they have an off time in their season, and they want to bring an immersive experience into their community. And I typically go in and we create something really cool that brings people in, so they want us to come back over and over. Ron Burton, he's got a little list of questions too, and then we're wrapping up soon. I said I would keep this under an hour, so I'm still good on time. And everybody's kind of hanging out with me, which is fun. So Ron's questions. Which ignites your creativity more? Which do you prefer? Smaller, more immersive shows like Edgar Allan Poe at the Wren's Nest with more intimate audiences, or larger, more epic experiences where you build audience seating and a new set like Titanic, Ragtime, Miss Saigon, etc. I feel like at Serenbe you did more of the epic outdoor stuff, but now BCE has been doing more of smaller walkthrough type shows. Does one excite you more over the other? It really depends. I like both of them. I will tell you, as you call them, epic shows, they cost more. So it is harder to make money on those experiences because you're having to bring seating in. You're having a huge ticket item like sinking a ship or landing a helicopter. Those things are very expensive to do. So I love those, but those typically end up being more like passion projects. And then the more intimate stuff, you can actually make money off of those as a director and producer and business owner. So it's kind of a balance, you know. I like doing both, but I would say I wouldn't want to do one or the other. It's good to kind of balance those, you know. And like Sleepy Hollow, it's almost down to a formula now because we do them in so many different venues. So it's really a balance of, you know, doing it all, but keeping your brain on your shoulders too. And then how do you choose to build a new set and seating for a show or place a show that's already in an existing location? So it really depends on the environment. Going into an open field, it's a lot easier to create all of that. If you're on a historic site, say like Washington Irving's house, you're going to be a little bit more limited in what you can do, and you want to also be a good steward to the space. So it really depends on the venue and what their restrictions are, and just make sure you're always respecting those restrictions. And you want to make your venue happy, and you make them happy by bringing people who are going to sell tickets, who are going to buy tickets. And then, this is still from Ron too. Finally, do you find the location first and choose the show, or do you say, I really want to do X show now, where can I do it? And I already answered that too. So it's a mix of both. When a venue invites me to their venue, I will go in and say, I want to see every possible site that I could produce in, and I'll kind of see what sparks my imagination. Spark of creation. I haven't sang enough during this. And then I have my bucket list of shows I'm just dying to do. And then as the stars align with venues, it lines up. Okay, cool. So I'm going to end with what's next for BCE this year. As we know, there is a lot of uncertainty, but Lord willing, this is what we'll be doing. We'll have Sound of Music next in Ohio. We are probably looking at a 2-week delayed production there, so that way we're out of the 8-week safety zone, of course. But again, we're monitoring it daily, so stay tuned. Then after that, we'll be doing Oklahoma at Wintergreen. I'm so excited to go back there. Then we're doing Charlotte's Web at a new venue in Rhode Island, Cogshell Farm, which is now actually owned by Old Sturbridge Village. So we're doing a cool Charlotte's Web up there in Rhode Island. Then Heather's in Ohio. Is everybody so excited? Because I sure as heck am. And then we'll start our Sleepy Hollow tour. We'll be in five or six locations. I kind of lose count this year. A new one is in Rhode Island at Cogshell Farm in Rhode Island. And then we're also developing a brand new Halloween experience that is going to give Sleepy Hollow a run for its money. And it's something I've been wanting to do for years. It's a little witchy, so stay tuned for details on that. And then we're also developing a new holiday show that'll hopefully be taking place at Old Sturbridge Village. So stay tuned for all of that exciting, good stuff. Please connect with us. Go to our website, Brian Clowdus. How you doing? .com. It's really not how you doing. It's just brianclowdus.com. I should have done a howyoudourin.com. I guess it's not too late. So follow our website for latest information and calendar and ticket sales and all that good stuff. Also follow, we have new social this year, Brian Clowdus Experiences on Facebook, on Instagram, BC Experiences, and then follow Brian Clowdus Experiences on the TikTok, because that is the new thing. We have some awesome Heather's videos on there that have pretty much gone viral. So go to TikTok, check out our Heathers who flew down to Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, and just they're a hoot. I'm obsessed with them already. I think that's it, right? Gosh, I've enjoyed this. So I've got 4 minutes left. Are there any last minute questions in these last 4 minutes? Oh, y'all are an inspiration as well. Love you. I'm so excited too. Okay, so I will end these last few minutes. asking you all again to take care of yourselves. I love you all. I appreciate you all so much for supporting me, supporting my dreams, supporting my team's dreams, and I would love for y'all to check out what we're doing, either as an audience member or as part of the BCE team, especially in this downtime. Shoot me a message. Ask me a question. I'm not going to hop on a phone call, but I will text you. Okay, cool. Jared, on the BCE end, did I forget anything? Anything? Are we good to go? I think I got it all, right? If I did miss a question, please, I know we've got tons of questions that came in. I will answer those later. And if y'all enjoyed this, maybe I'll do another one for y'all. Cool? Okay. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love y'all.